So I want to welcome you here. The way this kind of got started was Heather and John were co-hosting a members present with me as the member and presenting kind of the work that I'm doing. And both Heather and I had an interest in women's empowerment. And so that's why he thought it would be a good match. And from that, the conversation started about, could we create a synergy group around the topic of women's empowerment? And that was just something that we were really excited about exploring. So that's what this is. This is the kickoff to that. And we don't have a specific plan or a specific idea of what this is meant to be, other than a community of support for women, because we know that we hear consistently that women feel lonely or they feel isolated, despite, they can be married, children, engaged in their mission, working, whatever it is, but there's still this sense. And we know that's happening because despite feeling like we're connected around the world, we're not really as connected as we hope to be. And we don't have as much face-to-face engagement as we'd like to have. And so obviously we can't do that face-to-face here, but I think the more community we can build, the closer we can bond, that the more we will feel like we do have the support and the encouragement that we need to carry out our mission as change makers or leaders or light bearers, whatever it is that we feel like we're being called to do, and to do it more effectively. So that's kind of what the start of this is. What I'd like to do tonight is just to kind of introduce ourselves, just some basics, and really get to what would be most beneficial to you. What would make this a group that you would want to return to over and over again? Probably, I would guess we'll be meeting on a monthly basis. I'm not sure if it would be more frequently than that. I don't think many women have time for that, but we can see as we go. But what would it be that would make you really want to show up, knowing that we have so many options out there, so many opportunities to engage and be involved in things? What would make this special for you? So if that sounds good, I'll just get started, and then we'll just go around. Actually, maybe we'll go ahead with, after that we'll go, who told me they had to leave? Sorry, I can't remember. Somebody
I have to leave at 5:30.
Yeah,
Yes.
So we're gonna pop right over to you. Let me just get started, and then we'll pop right to you just to make sure that we hear from you, and then see what everyone else has to say. So Liz Williams, I'm located, what I was gonna do is say what your name is, your location, kind of what your mission is, and then what would be most beneficial to you. What is a gap that that's not being met that we could hopefully meet for you here? So Liz Williams, I'm in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States, and my mission, my calling, I believe, is to focus on women's empowerment. My organization, Awe Partners, was created to educate women on how to engage more effectively in the social impact space. My real passion is women's empowerment, but what I saw was there are so many amazing organizations out there, but they're not receiving the funding or the support that they really need to scale up or to really make the impact that they hope to. So if I can help to educate women to understand how to do that more effectively so that they are directing their resources to the most effective organizations, my belief is we will actually start to move the needle. So that's the foundation that I've set. It's been about 4 years now, and I've created this foundation, which is an online platform. But what I see myself moving toward in 2020 is really becoming more engaged in the issues of women's empowerment and what's working and how we can do more in those realms. And what do I need, or what am I looking for? I work from home, and I'm alone a lot. And I joke now I've just became an empty nester about 3 weeks ago. So I feel really alone despite having a husband who is here. But, I'm in my home a lot by myself. I meet a lot of women online, but I don't feel like I've yet created the tribe that I hoped to create when I started this business. And so to have a place where I could come to consistently, a place where I know that I can be authentic, that I can, talk about what's working and what's not working, and feel that energy of support from other women who are feeling the same challenges and the same joys, and to be with women who are really pursuing their calling and deep purpose, and just to be able to share that as we grow and as we continue to engage in what we're doing. So that's my introduction. So Suzanne, if you would like to go next, that would be terrific.
Sure. I am Suzanne Ross, and my primary focus right now is to offer an internet television platform for women and men who are spiritually inspired, who would like to feature videos, documentaries. We feature videos anywhere from 8 to 12 minutes all the way up to 1 or 2 hour long documentaries on our TV network. My TV network is called SciSpy.tv, SCISPI.tv, and it is all about merging science, SCI, and spirituality, SPI. That's our genre, which I trademarked. And we actually have 7 channels and over 30 shows at this point. We are getting more subscribers all the time, but we could certainly use help in that regard. I don't have the ability to do the whole spectrum of things involved with marketing and editing and producing the videos. And so a gap in my world is the marketing of the network. However, it is a subscription share network. There's absolutely no charge to be on our platform. One of my missions in life is to promote other people, and especially if their material is very inspiring and empowering and enlightening for others. And I'm very well versed on video editing. So something that I do is I will create promotional videos for people that will, market their businesses or their projects, their programs. But I certainly am weak in the area of marketing the network. So that would be a gap for me. I also host events and retreats out here in Sedona, Arizona, where I live. Looks like I need to click on my video. And so I have offered many goddess retreats, and we've had big 2-day conferences here in Sedona. And that's another way that I, reach out to the greater community, is by hosting these big conferences with authors and speakers and experts. And then people come from all over the country and the world to attend these events. And again, just offer the inspiration and empowerment. Of course, we film them, and that's something else we put on the TV network. Lastly, I'm envisioning unity communities, and we've got some venture capitalists right now that are very interested in our 3-tier approach to unity communities. We have a 32-acre property here in Sedona and a 25-acre property in San Diego that we're looking at to build out as a self-sustaining unity community. We have several free energy technologies we want to use on the property, including a patented technology for converting food waste into free energy. We're also licensed in hemp farming, so we're going to be doing hemp farming for CBD and other products because that's immediately revenue generating. And then also, of course, a retreat wellness center, and it will be a community center, and we have other structures planned too for counseling and healing, of course, a television and radio studio, but free housing for the spiritual practitioners who will be offering the healing and the counseling and the teaching, because there's a housing shortage for people in the field of spiritual and even wellness practitioners, especially here in Sedona. And so the idea there is to also offer free housing. Wow. So we're trying to get investors for that project as well. I'm president of a 501c3 called Awakening. So we do have a federal nonprofit as well. So I love co-creation and collaboration. I'm happy to support and promote anybody else. But like Elizabeth, I do feel kind of alone in my world here as well, and would love more collaboration and co-creation.
Okay. Fabulous. Great. Thank you, Suzanne. That sounds amazing. Thank you for sharing all that.
I'd love to go next.
Yes, Summer, please do.
Just to add on to Suzanne, that I'm actually reading one of Suzanne's books that she wrote, I think in the last couple of years, called Rise Up. And I think in some ways that book and that experience that I've been having reading a 10-day journey that's turned into definitely more than a 30-day journey for me.
Yeah.
You know, for those of you maybe that I know a lot of you, but I don't really know Kathy. I'm the co-founder of SINE, which we're all SINE members. And I find it really interesting, the people that I've been having the prospect conversations with that are leading into eventually becoming SINE members are mostly women that I'm talking to. And I'd say very deeply like spiritual, like high vibrational, incredible women just living their life guided from their hearts. And and so there's the inner workings of SINE, and a lot of things that I'd say Suzanne is seeking too, and is part of SINE of amplification of each other's work and all of that. And in some way, I think something that I'm desiring, and I'm excited about you talking about doing it once a month, is having a space to, thinking of Heather Joy's work too, of sprucing, like actually like more of a circle that supports each other on a more like sacred, compassionate space of us as humans. And there's the work that we do in the world and all the great things that we're amplifying. And I think in some ways, just a place to maybe empty and hold each other of the struggles that I know that I have every day.
Yeah.
And then I also am thinking too, especially Liz, and what you're holding for younger women is something that I am desiring in my community. I am not a mom, but I definitely feel like a motherly kind of archetype is very present in me in this particular time in my life. And, you know, the sense of like time and, oh, I'm busy and all of that. But I feel in this community, I'm desiring being like a mentor for young women.
Yep.
And challenge to just discover how to make that happen, like, and what that could look like. And in some way, maybe it could be something tied to this, you know, because we're all women, you know, different ages, but that maybe there's some connection there of younger women connected to women that are doing things in alignment with our souls, and you know, globally seeking to be working on peace on earth by 2030. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And, you know, but that's just something that's stirring in me, is maybe something of that nature here.
I love that. I love both things you said. The first, in the work that I do, we focus on both the inner and outer work. And that's kind of what you're pointing out, Summer, is, you know, our mission, what we're carrying out, the things that we do on a daily basis are really the outer work. But what informs that is taking time, as we all know, for that inner work and that spiritual development and that growth and transformation. And I agree that that's where what I see this space, what we can create here, is that place where we can do some of that deeper work. And I think even using some of the amazing talents and gifts that members of SINE possess and want to share. So I would love to see women who want to share, you know, their own learning or their own teachings with us. I think that would be just amazing. That would really give us an even better sense of what they're offering. And then this idea of mentorship or intergenerational wisdom, I think, as we know, that's so missing right now, that the idea of the elders, that the indigenous cultures, you know, are so familiar with, but this idea of being able to pass this along. And so, yeah, if we could create something here, and then each of us take that out as mentors to the younger, you know, generation, to the millennials, and that type of thing, that would be amazing as well. So I love that. I will definitely incorporate that. We'll continue to share. Yeah.
Add into, I do have personal business as well. Well, it's definitely part of SINE, and Garden of Joy is work that I also am working on it getting its wings, and my own challenges in that as an individual, bringing a spiritual, healer business into the world, that how to go about that and SINE and the other spaces is a really interesting question that I'm with, that is sometimes flowing and sometimes not at all. So,
Yep, I totally get that.
yeah.
One of the things that I didn't realize when I became an entrepreneur, I thought it was going to be mostly about the business, even though I felt it was a calling. What I didn't realize was that my own growth and transformation would be so tied to the growth of this business. And so I think as women in particular, we recognize that they're not separate. We bring them, they're blended together. And so how do we do that well? Or how do, it's just kind of, to me, it's just kind of an ongoing learning process. So hopefully that's something we'll explore.
So thank you. I'm excited.
Great. Thank you. I am as well. Who would like to go next? Anyone want to volunteer? Julie? Great.
So I'm Julie Kroll. I'm in the Geographic Center of the United States. Yes, I learned back in 2010, I worked with Barbara Marx Hubbard quite a bit and studied with her for a year. And every time we'd get together with large groups or small groups, it wouldn't matter. And I'd say, I'm from Nebraska. I'm from the middle of Nebraska. And people would go, I don't even know where Nebraska is. So I don't know if any of you really do know where Nebraska is, but people will go, I think So I literally live in the geographic center of the United States. If you count Alaska, or if you don't count Alaska, there are 2 points, and I live exactly in the center of those 2 points.
Wow.
So that's me. I am an author and a speaker and a healer and all these things that everybody's been rattling off. I've been a healer all my life, and have really transitioned to work from shifting from personal health to cultural and planetary health now, and really focusing on that. I'm the founder of a nonprofit organization called Good of the Whole. And the mission of Good of the Whole is to really cultivate an ethos of wholeness, as well as nurturing our innate capacity to live for the good of the whole. And so we work with different communities, individuals, organizations at different levels. We have what we call mentoring stewards. We do a lot of teaching of how to hold resonance in groups, how to access collective consciousness as a technology of really holding the field, a coherent field, and allowing the voice of the impulse of evolution to come forward and that field to speak. So we do a lot of, we kind of really hold it on that evolutionary edge while we're really working toward whole systems health in a lot of different ways. So I know that sounds like kind of crazy and out there, but it's really, no, thank you. Some people like, some people, yeah, okay, I don't even have to clarify that, but it sounds like a lot like, oh, whole systems health, and then you're doing this evolutionary stuff. But we do really work with a lot of the new templates coming in, and a lot of the sacred geometry and the matrix of how we can hold this energy and really sustain our business, our work, and have it really be infused with the pure DNA of that evolutionary impulse of what's coming through right now. So that's my love. We will be, I'm also, well, I'll tell you what I was going to say. We will be launching really soon this fall a new program that comes out of Barbara Marx Hubbard's dream of the evolutionary core. She asked me to help her create the evolutionary core, like the Peace Corps, back in 2012. And we worked on it together for a very long time, and she never could fit it into her foundation. And so that's how Good of the Whole was born. And that's the DNA of, that's the frequency of good of the whole, comes from the work that we did of really assisting with the evolution of consciousness on the planet and how to live for the good of the whole, really understand what that means and embody it and express it in our work and in our lives and in our relationships. So we're starting a really cool program that's not really like training and education, and it's really about support. There's a core curriculum, but you move from taking the core curriculum and then you move into a mentorship and then an apprenticeship and then a mentorship phase. And then there's a couple other phases of really holding and supporting. So this goes to my need, and I want to share one other thing, but what I've learned in the last decade of working with a lot of conscious evolutionaries is people get ignited and they get excited and they want to be the change, and they have ideas. We have a plethora of ideas. We see how things can work. We have so many visionaries. And like Barbara Marx Hubbard, you know, who's teaching co-creation, teaching collective consciousness, teaching all these concepts, but we don't have that support to hold us as we're moving along, to really stay really in alignment with that coherence. Because oftentimes we're like, oh, well, I have to market like X person tells me and teaches me online. I'm supposed to be marketing like her. And, oh, she's an evolutionary leader, so it must be the right way to market. And those are really the old forms coming out of old consciousness and the consciousness of separation. So we really hold people on their path to stay in the new consciousness and trust that and hold your hand while you're going out self-organizing and taking your business to a new level, really amplifying it. So I'm really excited about releasing that. But Suzanne's here, and I just want to say I'm also a talk show radio host and have been hosting a popular show for 6 years. It's really fun, the Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected. I've been able to work with incredible people around the planet, and also doing other media and looking to expand into TV. So it's cool that Suzanne's here. I can't see you anymore.
Oh yeah, I know. I lost my camera, Julie. I don't know why it says Zoom can't detect my camera, but in any case, that's super exciting. All Things Connected, the Dr. Julie Show. Yeah. I look forward to connecting, Julie. Let's figure out how to connect with each other.
Thank you. Thank you. My daughter is an actress in New York City. My son-in-law is a filmmaker in New York City, and they have that technology. And we've dreamed. We have some programs that are ready to take form. But we're going to get this other program launched first. But there's some really exciting, cool things. So I'll whisper this here. I probably should go check all the URLs and see which new ones are in before I say this out loud, because a lot of people are in that fear mode, but I'm not going to be in fear. I'm going to trust you all. But one of the things we want to do is tell the greatest love story ever told. And that's us, like waking to this new consciousness and coming back into unity and wholeness again. So we're going to tell the greatest love story ever told. And that's the ultimate dream in the media piece. So I'm working with a lot of different global leaders on evolving media. They keep tapping me, and I don't think that I'm it. Like, I'm not the one to evolve media. Maybe I am, and I just need to like get it through my head. I feel more of assisting others and speaking and teaching and coming from that place. And so yeah, a lot of change happening. My book just came out this summer, and it's a bestseller.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Yes. So that's me. My need is, yeah. I do feel really isolated too. Remember, I'm in the geographic center of the United States, which is rural Nebraska. Yeah. Through Good of the Whole, I have 2 beautiful community calls every week. We're teaching resonance and holding that on space. We come together to co-nurture, co-mentor, to have mutually supportive relationships. And how do we do that as mentors? And yet, I'm really missing the face-to-face, and I think it's time to hit the road and get in front of audiences and groups and be more face-to-face for me. So I see that coming real soon.
Well, Julie, I'm so thrilled because I get a sense that you can help co-lead this idea of supporting individuals. And I can totally relate to what you're saying, where you have that vision and you get so excited and you hit the ground running and you're doing all this stuff, and then you hit the walls and you think, what I come to is, does it mean I'm on the wrong path? Does it mean I'm making mistakes? Or is this all part of that journey? And, you know, how hard do I keep pushing? Or is that the issue, that I'm pushing and I'm not in the flow? And so those are the kind of questions that I hope we can explore. And it sounds like you're already kind of doing some of that work. So if you can share things with us, that would be amazing. So
I love it. Love it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to also just chime in, Julie, that I know there's a lot of other SINE members that are interested in creating a synergy group around media. So just so you know, that's coming soon with
Cool.
some amazing people, and hopefully we can be engaged in that as well.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's exciting. Thank you, Julie. That's great. Kathy or Tammy?
Hey, I'm Tammy. I'm in upstate New York, and I'm a SINE member. Hi, Summer. I haven't talked to you in a while. Yeah. My background is in nursing and in healthcare and critical care and open heart, special needs, trauma. So I'm a beginner in the spirituality realm. So I'm really learning a lot. And one of the things I just recently learned is that one of the indigenous prophecies is that dreams come through the divine feminine. And I think that's why we see so many women with the that are waking up first, unless it's a man with a strong divine feminine within.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I do think that's why we get there first. But
Why it's so important to support that.
yeah,
Right? If those dreams are coming through us, what can we do to ensure that we can carry them out?
yeah. So I guess so I'm definitely I've been working with a lot of volunteer work with a peace project locally and within my school district, and mental health and wellness, social emotional learning kind of programming to help advise that. But I really want to kind of see how we can go back, like Julie was saying, like we feel alone. I feel like we're not in the right communities. Like, how do we get back to that almost indigenous kind of communities that are thriving in the midst of the climate crisis, but in a modern way? You know, that really kind of comes through just listening tonight to people saying, like, are we in the right space? Like, I keep thinking about that for myself. Should I be in the Northeast? I feel like this is my space, but I still want to be in a smaller community where everything is within reach, that my ancestry at 9 generations is farmers and blacksmiths. And it's like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And you know, that's what we are finding out, right? So I'm taking a course right now learning about regenerative agriculture and how to be an advocate for that message so that I can bring that forth into communities. So my challenge is, will that be received within my local community, or do I need to take it somewhere else?
Yeah.
So, and then there's other groups of alliances of nurses that are for climate change and things like that. So I almost want to like go back in time and like, how do we make that happen and not sound crazy to the general public? That's to me is the challenge. And
So it's nice to have a group where you don't sound crazy. Like, where you know that you can come and say what you need to say and nobody's going to call you crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's really been interesting. I've been listening to Ruth Anderson's summit that she's doing these interviews. And the thing that I keep hearing is that, you get this guidance and it may sound nuts and it may say, I need you to go here. You're like, what? Like, you know, now, and you know, well, how does that make sense? But we have to trust and follow that. So, but the other thing that strikes me is, and hearing Julie's in Nebraska, and you know, where I sit in Chicago, I see all this amazing stuff that happens on the West Coast, and I see stuff that happens on the East Coast, but it's not happening to that extent in the Midwest, at least from what I see. So it kind of adds to that feeling of isolation and loneliness. Like, man, I really am the only one talking like this. So again, you know, that need to be able to find a place where people aren't going to call me crazy and they're going to encourage me to continue to speak up. But I feel like it doesn't help if all of us are just in one location, right? We really do need to be spread out and bringing this message forth. So anyway.
Yeah, and I think the meditation practice, that training, is also really helping, like a magnet, drawing those right people and those ideas to us. And just like Summer, you are a magnet for youth, especially for young women. So I would definitely, you know, consider that, paying attention to that, because I know Kat was very drawn to you, and yeah, because you are younger and you have so much, you know, to offer. So I can totally see that happening for you.
Well, thanks, Tammy.
Yeah, that's cool.
Tammy's been one of my, if you don't mind me saying.
No, go ahead.
Through the Garden of Joy, she's gone through a journey with her amazing daughter.
Oh,
yeah,
that's beautiful. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
The garden, the agrarian in you. That's great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, great. Thank you, Tammy. And what you would be looking for, what is, again, the community, or was there anything else that you felt like you would like to find here?
So, no, I think I've found a lot of, just, you know, I'm just learning so much from everybody. Yeah. You know, so, you know, everybody's been doing this for a lot longer than I have. And so it's just so much to take in sometimes. Yeah. But to try to like filter it and direct my energy. And, you know, it sounds like so much, like each person is doing so much. And I'm like, how do they do all that? You know? So that always concerns me sometimes for each individual, that, you know, that we don't, you know, burn out.
Yeah, for sure. And so maybe for you, just some guidance on this path, since it feels like it is.
Yeah. If anybody hears like, oh, you know.
Yeah.
This sounds like, I'm going to Menla Mountain Retreat next week to the 13 Indigenous Grandmothers event with Phil Lane.
Yeah.
There. I get to meet Phil.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in the Catskills.
That's going to be wonderful.
It's called Lift the Earth. So.
Is this the time to give a little bit of feedback, or are you going to wait till everybody's here?
Oh, I'm fine. No, if you want to say something, Julie, please do.
Okay, I just don't want to interrupt with the flow with Kathy too, but Tammy, instantly I heard for you, if you just want, I just want to give you this feedback, and I write about it in my book, is that when I heard you speak, I heard to have you use the heart and the health of a heart and our heart health as the metaphor for your work. And if you think about even like open heart surgery and you think of heart disease, that's the metaphor of what's happening on our planet as we're awakening and coming into health. And so now's our time to create the conditions for the healing to come forward. So even with agriculture and other things, if you think about your expertise and your wisdom and your experience of nursing, there are probably some metaphors that will break through for you that will really help to guide that.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. I was drawn to the open heart because my grandmother led me to go into nursing, actually, when she had heart surgery. I was not on that path at all. So that was how I got into nursing. And she is my matriarch.
Very good.
So yeah,
That's
she was my
awesome.
big dream and everything. So that's really insightful. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel very called to healing.
Tammy.
So
I also would love to add into the color that you're wearing.
yes, right.
That
Ah, yep.
the fourth portal, your heart.
Yeah.
Okay, pretty clear. Boom, we're done. Awesome. Awesome. Awesome first meeting.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
Shannon's
Okay.
here. Hi, Shannon.
Here.
Hi, Summer. Hello, Liz. Hello, everybody.
Hi, Shannon. We are just doing some introductions. So we'll go to Kathy to give you a minute to settle in, and then you're next.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so basically we're just telling our name, where we are, kind of what our mission is, and then why this group, this space would be beneficial to you. What gap is there that we might be able to fill here in this group that would
Okay,
meet
lovely.
probably on a monthly basis virtually, something along those lines. So you'll hear as Kathy describes, and then you can join in.
Great. Thank you.
Sure. Are you ready, Kathy?
Sure. I'm kind of location independent right now. In this moment, I'm on Crete,
Oh, man, that's awesome.
3:45 in the morning.
Wow, thank you.
Sure. I wasn't expecting to stay up. I was like, oh, do I really want to get up at 3 in the morning? But then I just wound up being up till 3 in the morning. So I'm like, well,
Wow.
up till 2:30. I'm like, oh, just may as well stay up now.
You're meant to be here. That's exciting. Great.
Yeah. And my mission, my work the name of my company is Live Peace Today. And it's really based on the indigenous prophecies. And funny that you're going to the grandmothers. It was at the grandmothers, they did a conference. I lived for 18 years with the TM group in Fairfield, Iowa. So I know about the middle of the country. And it was at their conference, they were really bringing out all of the prophecies from all the different first tribes around the world of what it would take to create world peace. And this didn't happen, but what it felt like at the conference was that I was sitting on the aisle, and as the grandmothers walked down the aisle, they tapped me on the shoulder and went, this is what your life has been all about. Because it took all of these different modalities I had studied and been certified in, like each one of them was me learning how to help fulfill those prophecies. So I work with entrepreneurs who are really trying to change the world and make it a better place. And I help them, if they don't know how to yet, how do you live from your heart? Like, how do you get in touch with it? How do you manage your emotions? How do you access that coherence, that positive resonance? I help them get in touch with and live their life purpose, really step into that. And then also trained in identifying and clearing the ancestral and the unconscious patterns that keep them acting in the old ways and are preventing them from really having the success that we really need us all to have, right? We need the world to change. And so that was the sort of the audience that I felt really called to support. I knew I only had so much energy and I wanted to create the ripple out. So that was the focus that I chose. And so I worked with Ryan Eliason for probably 5 years as a business coach. And my calling has been in really sharing the prophecies, because after the grandmothers came, I studied their CD and their book, and then so many indigenous elders came into Fairfield where I was living from basically 2012 to 2013. And each one just reinforced what everyone else was saying, and like had another piece of the puzzle and another piece of the puzzle. And so it was at the Midwest Shamanic Conference in 2012 that hearing the same stories from different tribes in the South and the North and the East and the West. And I spoke to one of the elders and I said, I feel inspired to share what you're teaching, but I'm not from one of the indigenous tribes. And he said, I'm stopping because it says the internet's unstable.
Yes.
I said, what do I do when, if I want to share this? Because so many people get so inspired when they hear that peace actually is possible at this time.
Yeah.
What should I do if people have a problem with the fact that, I'm white, I'm as white as they come, I'm all Irish. And he said, you should never mind. Just don't mind those people, because what we need is people to be out there sharing. And so Ryan had encouraged me to really build up the private practice so that when I want to share in a bigger way, that I can afford to hire support, for back end stuff. Because I've been in business before, and I know group stuff takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of support. So I've done that with a private practice, and I'm just now transitioning into wanting to bring it out in a bigger way. And I work with a council, which is the Davic realms and the Ascended Master realms and the Nature Spirit realms. And so I've been kind of letting them guide me through this process of when is the time to bring it out in a bigger way. And they just gave me the green light about like last month. And I've been working on this basically, I feel like since 1999. So it's like, wow. All right. So I've my private practice, I was very blessed. It's all been through referral. I haven't really needed a website or anything like that. And I'm in that process of like, okay, how do I put it all into words? What I'm doing and what I'm offering. And in the middle of crafting a website with somebody, I was up so late as I just got back from Synery, where I did a photo shoot yesterday for the website. And so it's like I think what drew me to be here is the support. I've had a lot of masterminds in my life with other business people. And so I think that's a little bit what was in my mind in coming is there's something about being in the field with other people who understand what it's like to have a business, because it's very different than having a job.
Yes.
So just having that support of people who know what it's like to go through this thing of like even when I saw your post that said, what is your mission? And I was like, what is my mission? Like I haven't actually put it into words before. Yeah. So that's sort of a part of the journey that I'm on right now.
Great. Maybe we can help clarify that for you. That's terrific. And we'll talk about the times to have this meeting, because I certainly would hate for you to always have to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. So we'll try to adjust that to accommodate better, but it is challenging when you've got women that are potentially from all over the world. But fantastic. That's really exciting. I would love to talk to you more, because I think I could use some clearing of unconscious things. So you and I can talk more about that, Kathy.
Definitely.
Great. Shannon, are you ready to get started? Can you share with us?
There we go. I've unmuted. Yes. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi, Shannon.
Hey, Summer. Hello. So good to see you. Woohoo. Happy to be here. I saw the wonderful interview there, Liz, with you and Deborah and Heather. And so I was just inspired, and that's what brought me here today. I thought this is fantastic. All of us women coming together and synergizing together. So hello, everybody. My name is Shannon Lane. And sometimes you'll see my name given by my grandfather, young Keowi. So I come here as a woman of mixed heritage, blended heritage. So I'm living right now in Oregon, on the Pacific coast here of the Turtle Island. So on my father's side, I'm blessed that my grandfather, Phil Lane, Senior, he was born in Wakpala in the Standing Rock Reservation, Hantoan, Dakota. And my grandmother, Lena Rose Lane, was born in Chickasaw, in Oklahoma, and they met at the Haskell Indian boarding school. Mm-hmm. And then on my mother's side, we're of European heritage. So that would be Prussian, who a lot of the family then moved over to the Volga River there in Russia. They're called Russians. And then also English and Irish. Mm-hmm. And so I'm this beautiful mixture of many different peoples where my ancestors reside. And so my work, I guess, through the years have sort of evolved out of my playing in the intersections of my identity. And growing up, I guess it just sort of evolved, yeah, a lot of out of my identity and through my family and because of my family history, and sort of being aware at a very young age about sort of these socially constructed identities that are here where I grew up. And really, you know, a lot of different stories I have to tell about that. And so then most recently with studies at Oregon State University through ethics studies or women's studies about difference, power, and discrimination, and really wanting to find a way to work through all that for myself. Came out of that a passion for wanting to find a way for women about addressing that what I really see and hear, that call out there of, you know, am I enough? Or I don't feel enough. That I hear so much, that pain that's out there, and that connects a lot with our identity. And what I also hear a lot about is, you know, that call and that longing for knowing who we are. And that also kind of comes down into with our identity and back to where the land that we're from and our ancestors. Knowing who we are really informs, you know, where we've come from, informs who we are now and where we're going to our future, right? There's a lot of wisdom I've learned from my grandparents on both sides of my family. And that's something that's really important to me. And so I think it's very important when sisters get together. And, you know, I didn't grow up immediately with sisters, but I've grown up as I have 5 sisters. They've come to me as I've grown up through my life, which is exciting. And just recently, just this last September, another sister came into our family, which is just so exciting. Wow. Lots of stories about that. And it's beautiful now how people are able to find their family through, we close that there, through, you know, finding out about their DNA. And so people are feeling connections because this, you know, displacement of women around the world through time. And wanting to know, you know, gosh, you know, I feel connected to this land or these people or these customs or these cultures or these traditions for some reason. I don't know why. And yet perhaps their ancestral lines are from another place. And so then learning about being guests in another land because of whatever the diaspora is, for whatever reason, why they're displaced. And then learning about how can they make that reconnection back to where they're from. So to me, that's the beauty of learning and making that connection back to being enough and learning back to who you are, to know that you are enough no matter what. Yeah, reclaiming that.
I can see the connection between what I was talking about on the interview and what you're saying. So I know you and I will have lots to talk about this, the restoring the sacred feminine and the reconnecting to Mother Earth. So
yes,
okay,
exactly.
Exciting. That's great. What, Shannon, do you feel like this group or this space could provide to you ideally? What would you like to find here?
And Shannon knows that this is possibly going to be a once a month that Liz is starting. I don't know if that was before you came on, but just so.
Yeah, probably was.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I know that there were a lot of different topics that came out in what you guys were talking about you know, women's empowerment, being able to rely on coming together as sisters to talk. And for myself too, I'm just now having this opportunity to step out for myself. I know our dear sister who just shared, I'm sorry, didn't catch your name, didn't stick in my head. But you know, I'm also in the process of stepping out there, getting my own landing page and stepping into my own work. And so, you know, getting support with that. I'm traveling for a wonderful organization that I'm able to help out with Unity Earth, and will represent Turtle Island speaking about my faith for the event in India coming up in November, representing Turtle Island, and I'm just thrilled. So it's okay, other dear sisters who have gone and spoken, help, tips, ideas, that kind of thing. What do you do? Yeah. So just supporting in that way.
Perfect. We can do that. Fantastic. Thank you, Shannon. Thank you, everyone. This is great. Does anyone have anything else they want to share right now before I just kind of, yep, Summer, go ahead.
I realized I didn't say where I live, but I live on the south end of Whidbey Island, which is about 40 minutes north in Seattle, Washington, in the far upper left corner of Turtle Island. Yes, U.S. is where.
Beautiful. Anything else? And we don't have to cut it off. I was just going to kind of go a little bit. Let me just go ahead. I'll go into kind of what I'm thinking of from here, and then that might just spark other thoughts. One of the things that John was hoping might come out of this, and I think is a great idea, is to have more of the member presents where we co-host those. So I would love to take, the women that are in this group, those who have not been spotlighted yet, if you want to be, and have one of us actually co-host that and do that interview. So if that's of interest, you can let me know on either end if you'd like to be interviewed or, co-host one. That would be terrific. So that's something we could put together pretty quickly. As I said, the other thing that I think could eventually come out of this is if there's something you can share that would help us in our stepping up and into our leadership capabilities or whatever it is to support us, and you'd like to, spend half of our time next time kind of sharing what you do and maybe an exercise or that type of thing, that would be fabulous. So you could be thinking about that and let me know. The other thing, Summer, something you said about reading a book, and I thought, that would also be a really interesting thing if we just read a book together where, we read the same book and then came back, something that we thought would be really, really beneficial to the group as a whole. So we could be thinking about what those books might be. So maybe something that was written by someone in this group. So is that what you're thinking of, Summer?
Yeah, I just was thinking Julie's book too.
That's what I mean, we've got a couple authors, so.
Yeah.
So that would be amazing. I think that would be really fun. Let's see. And then just the other things that we've talked about here. So what I'm proposing is that we come back together probably in early October, that we'll set another date. Hopefully Heather will be able to be with us by that time. And I'll look to see who's in the group and where everyone is. And if there is a better time that would accommodate more of us, we'll try and do that. Or it may just be that we have to switch off every time. I'm not sure if somebody has a solution to that. Please let me know. But what I'd like to do is just go now and kind of take some notes. I know John said we've got a Trello board that we can use. I don't know if that's the most effective way for us to communicate, but I'll explore that with him, where the information that I could compile, that would be a place where you could look for it, and how I'll keep in touch with you in between, whether it, there must be a better way probably rather than posting for everyone to see. So we'll just have to think, or if somebody here knows, thinks, I know, yeah, Summer, you're so involved in this, you've probably got ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I know that just in the last couple weeks, honestly, I was not happy about this. Chats were taken out of the Facebook groups. But if we're all friends,
yeah,
we can still have a chat outside of SINE that it's not a group for this. That might be helpful, keeping it on Facebook versus another platform. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes so many platforms, it's adds to chaos versus where we all are. But
why don't I'll connect with you, Summer, on this specifically, and just about how we'll go forward. And so we'll get the word out to you about where we'll be, how we'll kind of communicate going forward, but just let us get that in place. So that and we'll make it as easy as possible, because as you said, it's sometimes so hard to be in so many different places. So we'll, anything else that you just think would really, really help to keep us connected and to keep the momentum going, and really encourage you to want to spend more time here together.
I just want to mention, I just looked up, because it sounds like we're a little bit, you guys are, I assume, Summer, you're on Pacific time? Yeah. So we're Pacific time to East Coast time, and then the hop to Europe. I don't know, because we're all entrepreneurs, whether it would work or not, but your guys' mornings are my early evenings. So from me to Pacific time is about I think it's 8 or 9 or 10 hours.
The nice thing, here's the thing, we could do, it would be Pacific time early morning, possibly as early as 6 or 7, because Australia is another, well, it's, I think 12 hours past me. So we could capture everyone if we did early Pacific and late Australia. It's just not great, but at least that would really pretty much everyone could participate. So if we're willing to, you know, it's once a month. So, you know, if you're willing to kind of do that, that would probably be ideal. So I can kind of think, you know, put out I'll look at where everyone is and see what that would specifically mean. But I think that might be the only way to potentially capture everyone. Otherwise, somebody's either going to have to get up in the middle of the night or just miss it. So it would be really nice if we could do something where everyone could participate each time, because I just think it keeps, you know, as I said, the momentum going and the camaraderie and that bonding. So that may be what we'll have to do.
I'll bring my coffee.
Yeah, it would be breakfast for you and late nightcap for Heather.
Certainly.
And maybe, I mean, if it's better, you know, is it better during the week or is it better on the weekend as a result? Like, you probably don't want to get up at 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, but you know, if it's better for that we do it on a Saturday, you know, maybe that's, so those are things we can explore. I'm going to give you my email, because if you have any thoughts about all the things we're talking about now, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. It's Liz at AWEpartners, which is AWEpartners.com. So just as we're thinking through this, any thoughts that come to you, say in the next week or so, let me know, and I'll incorporate that into what kind of what I'm creating here, and then we'll get all that information back out to you.
I'd love to just add too about Members Presents, that part of what John and I too, along with so many of you that are bringing Members Presents to life, is that we're really wishing that that's going to happen more often, and that really, for those of you that have joined and know of, at the Firekeeper level, you have 4 sine waves at that level, that this is not one of those 4. We're really trying to get, for us, in that sense of building the culture of sharing and caring within SINE, that if you're going to be offering your support or co-hosting this Members Presents Synergy Hour space, it's like, it's a bonus, and we want it to ripple of a sense of the power of these hours, and just the generosity of the time of that as well. So know that as well. And yeah.
So do send me, maybe we'll put that out there. If you are interested in either being spotlighted or you'd like to host, please let me know that in an email so I can start to keep track of that, and we can go ahead to start to schedule some of those. Again, if you wanted to share anything that you're doing, any, you know, gift, knowledge, skill, wisdom you want to share with us, let me know that. Any thoughts you have on, you know, better dates or times or that type of thing for our ongoing meetings. I think what we'll try to do is keep it as regular as possible, just to remember, like, it's always the last Thursday, or it's always something like that, just so that we can kind of keep that in our head. So if that might be helpful too, since there's just a small group of us. If there's something you absolutely can never do, I can never do Sundays, I can never do this or that, I can never, let me know that.
I would love to say weekdays versus weekends would be ideal for me, and I'm totally down. I mean, I know Sister Kathy here is up at 4 in the morning. I'm willing to, like, take on and pass the torch of the early morning thing and do that. It'd be ideal during the week. I also just wanted to mention that Shannon is just bringing up the event that Tammy is going to. Tammy, you're going to meet Shannon as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, right. 13 Grandmothers Retreat.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll be there. Menla, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going down on next Thursday, so.
Well, I'll be there for 3 days.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, super.
So, I mean, I think it would be so cool if you would provide for us a summary of what you discover. I mean, that is just, I would love to learn what the indigenous wisdom is around, particularly women. I think is a big focus on it, isn't it? Or no? Well, it's the 13 indigenous grandmothers, so they're going to teach us something amazing.
Yeah,
So,
the program is called Lift the Earth.
okay.
So yeah, so I think they're bringing that wisdom forward. So yeah.
Okay, great. So hopefully you can share with us next time.
And Shannon will be there. She's an indigenous woman.
Mhm.
I am. Yes, yes, yes. Enrolled in the Chickasaw Nation. And what I'm hoping to do is provide on my site, Global Council of Indigenous Women, which you're all invited because you all are Indigenous women. You know, you all are from the land, Mother Earth, and all have ancestors. Yes. So daily to provide pictures, posts, and hopefully to do interviews with everyone and put that up. So
On your Unicorns for Unity Facebook page that's part of SINE? Just wondering.
well, I'm going to see about the page. I don't know if my father has added the Global Council of Indigenous Women as part of his SINE, or if I will be putting that as my replacement for Unicorns of Unity.
You don't have to just have one page. So we'd love to add your page, that page.
Beautiful.
Or your
Fabulous.
Great.
That's for, I mean, for everybody to know that. The more pages, the better for all of us. You don't have to pay extra for having more than one place to unity with you. Unicorn,
Super.
all of
Super.
it. So Shannon, I'll send you my book me and we can figure that out and do that before you go.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do some quiz.
Just a reminder that that using that Kumu map, if now you've seen these women now and you want to learn more about them, go to that Kumu map. And if you haven't put your information in there, because I went there before and a couple of you or a few didn't have a lot of information there, so please put that in because that's a great reference for us to be able to, figure out more connections, collaborations, partnerships, that type of thing. So.
And I'll just add into that, John is inputting that information. So if there's a lack of, you can either message me to add to your bio and we'll make sure that that's updated in the Kumu.
Perfect.
Because right now it's not a collaborative like a Google map, not yet. I'd love that would be wonderful if it was, but yes.
Fantastic. Anything else? Yeah, Julie?
Yeah, I will just second Summer's intention of not weekends. I try to unplug for the weekend, and so I would prefer weekdays too. I just wanted to kind of put a little extra little oomph behind that. I second
Perfect.
that. So.
Then I'm going to push for Monday through Thursday. Then I'm not even going to do Friday because that would be somebody's Friday night. So let's just assume that this is going to happen sometime Monday through Thursday for sure going forward. And we'll just try to choose the best day. And again, let me know if it's, Mondays absolutely never work for me. Just let me know that and we'll try to work around it. I know it's always difficult to meet everyone's needs, but I'm going to give it a go. So at this point, we're going to try and meet everyone's needs. So that's the plan. So again, please don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime via email as this is all coming together. And, know that we're co-creating this space. So as you come up with some idea of what you think would just make it amazing, please let me know and we're going to make it amazing. So thank you. Thank you for being here. I am really, really excited. I've been looking for my tribe and I feel like I've found them. So thank you. I'm so happy to be on this journey with you. And I look forward I'll get information out to you just as quickly as I can and tell you how we can keep in touch.
Thank you, Liz, for calling this in. And I think that this is multiple women in SINE that are wishing for this too. So thanks for hearing the call. And I think this will grow. And yeah, just really grateful that you found SINE as well.
Yeah.
And happy. It's really nice to hear you and meet you. I haven't really been around you yet. So.
Yes, nice to meet you as well. And echoing, thank you, Liz, for bringing us all together, and to Spirit for having me be up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know, it's fantastic.
You know what actually kept me up so late is I hit that level, which you guys have probably already hit on Facebook, where you have a certain reach on your business page and they force you to verify and do location, which from Greece, like I was on the phone with iPhone, like, how do I get location services turned on so that Facebook will not turn me off? Because it, like, today's the day they were going to turn me off on my own business page. So it was like, it just took hours. And so here I am, and yay.
Perfect. That was what all that frustration was for. It was just so you would be here with us.
Now I know.
You know. All right, ladies, wonderful. Thank you so much. Blessings and peace to all of you until we're together again, and I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Hey,
Lovely.
everybody.
That was great.